Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Jayanti. If you would like to support my channel, then please like and subscribe. Today I'll be doing a collective reading about a person. Basically this is about a person. Again, it's not gender specific, so take what resonates and leave the rest. This is about a person who has been through a lot of difficulties. They were in a period of isolation, and they basically were literally like a phoenix, who was rising from the ashes, So that is the collective reading about. I think I'd done a reading about this a couple of days ago, but somehow I didn't really like the video, so I tried to, reshoot it. So we'll be doing a reading right now about this. I would also like to thank my new subscribers. A warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, liking my channel. And those of you who are still watching my videos, I would request you to subscribe to my channel and like the videos, because it will really help my channel grow. And let's begin with the reading right now and see, what messages we get for this particular collective. So let's see, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Ariel and Uriel, what is the message for this person, who's been through so many difficulties. So straight away the card I got is the Emperor card. This is definitely telling me that you're someone who is in a phase in your life wherein you're stepping into your power right now, Some of you could also be Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising sign, yeah. That is what I feel. Again, because Emperor is also a father card, I do feel like maybe some of you had father issues, in the past, and you have healed those father issues and you're literally stepping into your power, because usually whenever I see online, and I observe the relationship dynamics of many people, it's always women who have experienced, healthy relationships, with men, and the first relationship that they experience is always with their father, So all these women who have really experienced fathers who are really good to them, who have been there for them, who've been very protective, who have pampered them, and have made sure that they would never hurt them, these kind of men set an example, and these what I've noticed with these women is that they tend to choose men who are not toxic, It's also because they've experienced so many healthy male members around them, It could be a brother or a father, who've been so good to them, So whenever they are in the dating scenario, they're very good with choosing a partner. Whereas a person who has had an absent father, it's very difficult for them to understand, what they are supposed to tolerate and what they're not supposed to tolerate in a relationship. Whereas a woman who's experienced a healthy relationship with her father, with her brother, and when it comes to the opposite gender, the moment she is ill-treated, by her boyfriend or by her partner, she knows, where to draw the line and how to end it, she wouldn't tolerate it. So it's also something that I feel is something that people who have literally father issues or have had a absent father while growing up, we need to learn from people who really experienced healthy relationships, and look at their lives, So here the person that I'm seeing is definitely a person who's healed their father issues. They may have had a absent father, or a father who was not protective of them or didn't care about them, And definitely you could be someone who was raised by your mother, or if not by, even if your father was present, physically, he may have been absent emotionally, mentally, because being present being physically present doesn't mean that he was there for you emotionally, mentally. Or this could literally be an abusive father, if you had one, and if you lived with them, they weren't the best of the father figure that they were meant to be, That is what I see here. And you're definitely someone who is stepping into your power at this given period of time. And you're healing these aspects within you, And I think we should always learn from people who are experiencing those things in their lives, so if you've had an absent father, or if you've had a relationship wherein it was toxic, always look at men who are treating other people better, daughters and mothers and wives, how they are treated by this man, and that is how you'll know, that what is the difference between a toxic person and a person who's healthy, so let's see what cards we get and begin with the reading. You're definitely someone who's stepping into your power and you heal your father issues. Yeah, the sun card is there. Yeah, so again, father is also divine masculine energy, so you've also healed the divine masculine energy within you, and your relationship with that. Yeah, sometimes you may have found it very difficult to understand the opposite sex, because there is a major difference, between a divine feminine and a divine masculine energy, and the nature is very different, so I think you're learning your relationship with the divine masculine energy, the sun energy. Sun is again representative of divine masculine energy, father energy, right? So you are healing at this point of time, because sun also talks about healing, so definitely you are healing your relationship at this given period of time. That is what I feel. Again, I got that itchy feeling, so this is a confirmation. You are healing from this, I feel, because I think in the past it did affect your manifestation and your foundations in terms of your relationship with other people, whether you're dating someone or you're thinking of marrying someone, it was really affecting your connection, due to this father issue, this father wound that you had, which was not healed, so you've healed that right now, so I do feel like since you've healed it right now, there's definitely a lot of manifestation happening for you, you're manifesting really fast and you're able to maintain, create solid foundations for yourself. That is what I see here. And this is also a card of marriage, so I do feel the moment you heal your dynamic with your father or the divine masculine within, because this is all something that is happening on an energetic level, wherein you are healing this dynamic within you, and the moment you heal this, there are going to happen changes going to happen in the physical, so maybe if you're single, I think you'll get married, that is the card that I'm getting here. And even in work, so I do feel that everything is interlinked in life, so because there was a father wound, it was not only affecting your manifestation, it was affecting your work life, and it was also affecting your relationships, because everything is interlinked. And the more you're healing this, it's healing your manifestation, it's healing your work life, and it's healing your relationship, because you were first meant to heal this energy within you, yeah, how you react to this energy, what you would tolerate and what you wouldn't, you had to study what a healthy masculine energy is, to understand that, because obviously you never experienced it in your life, yeah, and it's very difficult to fathom something that you haven't experienced, so you had to build that within you first, yeah, heal that, develop a relationship with the divine masculine energy within you, so that you could interact with the world in a better fashion, so that is what I see here. Yeah, I do feel there were times that you had some sort of emotional fear within you, like emotional stability was not there, fear was there, anxiety was there, and you've come out of that, The moon energy talks about the mind, it may have affected your heart, your mind, at some given period of time. Yeah, this is a confirmation, the Eight of Swords energy is there. So you were in a form of some kind of mental prison, wherein you were having a lot of negative thoughts, and you were not able to transmute these negative thoughts, these negative patterns within you, because that is what you believed about a divine masculine, and this has got a lot to do with you not getting love of your father, or your father being emotionally, mentally, or even financially not being available for you, so you had to learn the hard way, yeah, you had a father who was absent, he didn't put in the efforts, The Eight of Pentacles card is reversed, so he didn't put in the efforts. That is what I see here. Yeah, and it was kind of affecting your relationship. That is what I see here. Yeah. So, I don't know if this is your sign or your father's sign, but the King of Wands energy is here. So, definitely Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising sign could be the sign of your father. I do see a strong Sun energy, so yeah, they could be a Leo or an Aries. Yeah, strong Leo, Aries, I see. Major Arcana cards is there. Or a Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. Or a Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. Yeah, and this could be your sign or your father's sign. Yeah, that is what I see here. Yeah, so I feel because this person was not there to protect you, take care of you, and to provide for you or be there for you mentally, emotionally, you really had to learn to stand up for yourself very early, I think you also became very vigilant, very street smart, because of that, because you knew nobody would be there for you. Yeah, I do feel, yeah. And like you can see, over here, the Eight of Wands card, is there, and this person is running, through all these clouds, in the sky. If you see, a lot of darkness is there, right? But this person is still running, running really fast, So, over here, the symbolic meaning is that, many life, I think you faced many difficulties and many challenges in life. Many arrows were thrown your way, and you were able to overcome that, Yeah, you kept going. That is what I see here. No matter what happened to you, There were times when you felt very defeated, you felt lost, you felt tired, but you carried on, That is what I see here. Yeah, the Tower card is there. So there were a lot of dramatic, sudden changes in your life that you couldn't understand as a child, It wasn't a healthy environment for you. I'm sure you struggled with stability in your childhood, Things would just change suddenly. This could also involve changing of your residence, quite often, or sudden, very traumatic events happening in your surroundings, Basically, the stability was lacking, So there were times when you felt very lost and defeated. That is what I see here. Yeah, I also feel like you felt like your environment was very strict. Yeah. People were harsh, very cold, distant towards you. Especially there were people around you, This could be anyone, This could be your friends, your relatives, your cousins, um, some family members, who were very cold towards you, Some of them were not, some of them didn't have good intentions towards you. Yeah, they were literally a snake. That is what I see here. Very cold, distant towards you, very calculating. Yeah. Lot of mental energy, like they weren't heart based. Everything was very calculated, But I see you being the high priestess, you could see through everything. You could see through all the deception, So even while there was a change of residence and probably, there were people around you from your family, extended family, some of them were not good towards you, That is what I see here. Yeah, the Seven of Wands card is there. So you have to literally stand up for yourself, These people were literally treating you like an underdog, That is what I feel, So many people were willing to attack you, because of their own reasons, whatever reasons were there. Yeah, I do feel you could see through the manipulation, the lies, the deceit. It was not hidden from you, I do see a strong Sagittarius, Leo, Aries energy here again. This could literally mean a particular person. If not your father, this could be your energy too. That is what I feel. Sagittarius and Leo and Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. Yeah. I think you were someone who you were from a very traditional family. That is what I feel, So everything was very strict in your family, uh, people could have been very strict, there was a kind of discipline and structure over there, so, but people are very rigid towards you. Yeah, that is what I feel. The rules were very strict, the kind of family that you were from. Also feel like you may have felt attacked, by people, so a lot of people would be rude to you, verbally attack you, that was there. Yeah, they were a bit harsh when it came to you. That is what I feel. I also feel you were in situations wherein you didn't have a choice, you didn't have a lot of options, you had to just be in that environment. You didn't have any option per se, Yeah. Yeah, I think you were in a stage wherein you were financially dependent, because you were a child, right? This also talks about your childhood. So you weren't that independent, you were dependent on your family, because you were just a child, you're growing up. I do feel like you went through some form of mental turmoil, sleepless nights over this, fear, anxiety, I think you were someone who was very sensitive, so it did affect you, how people treated you around you. And you didn't have a choice, like I said. I do feel like in your environment you often felt very disconnected from people around you, emotionally disconnected. Some of them were very boring. That is what I feel. You felt really bored in the in these connections around you. Yeah, whether these are your relatives, cousins, or your friends, whoever in your family. Also, I feel like you didn't feel like there was anyone to stand up for you. These people were not protective when it came to you. That is what I feel. Yeah, I do feel there were certain family members or people around you who wanted to limit you. They didn't want you to grow. Yeah, they didn't want to see your growth. That is what I see here. Especially your financial growth. That is what I'm picking up on. Yeah, these are the people who created self doubt in you, would try to lower your confidence, your self esteem, and basically, try to manipulate you mentally, play mind games with you so that you become very confused, when it comes to your path. That is what they wanted. So that you don't have the clarity about things that you want to achieve or do in your life, so that you make a mistake in your life, So I do see a lot of snakes around you who are very envious of you, especially in your childhood. It's possible that some of your relatives, cousins, anyone, and this is a confirmation, Ace of Swords energy. So these people were envious of you, that is why they were ill treating you. I do feel like in your childhood, often you spent a lot of time alone, for of Swords energies there. So even if you would go out on in nature, you'd play alone, under a tree or with animals, flowers, you would spend a lot of time alone. I don't see you like participating with many other people, You like spending time alone in nature. That is what I see here. Yeah, these were the kind of people who were trying to break your heart, Yeah. And I do see that your environment was not good. Like you did have father issues, because I feel you've healed now. You did have that. And I would like to congratulate you, if you had father issues and if you've healed that, that is commendable, because trust me, healing journey is not easy, right? It's difficult. And it's not for the faint hearted, and for you to have healed it, that's beautiful, it's not easy. And to show the coming generation that no matter what you go through, that doesn't define where you get married, or whether your marriage would fail, because it's very common, especially in the spiritual communities, to say that, oh, this one had a father issue, so they'll have problem with their marriage, and that's not true, Yeah, I think Jesus energy is there, so they really want you to heal. at this point of time. And they want you to forgive your father for not being able to be the father that he was meant to be for you, um, forgive people around you, who did you wrong. He's definitely saying that you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible. Like, imagine this card, like, kind of just came. Yeah, I was just shuffling, and it just came. Like, I can't like make this up. Father healing. So you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this period of time. So I think you're definitely someone who's almost healed it, probably 1 or 2% is remaining, that is why this card is here, and he's encouraging you, whatever is remaining, that will be healed too. And the reason why I'm saying that this is already healing, because you're already manifesting that partner, that correct partner for yourself, you may have attracted a lot of toxic partners in the past because you had not healed this father wound within you, and that unhealed wound was attracting all these negative partners in your life, so this is a confirmation, Jesus wants you to heal. Yeah, lot of heart chakra energy is there, divine healing is happening for you. Honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal, so spend time alone, heal. Your light can support others. It's such a beautiful card, and I really got emotional, honestly. Yeah. Definitely I feel there was a parent who was absent, and you had to find that healing within, yeah, within you. Yeah, Mahavatar Babaji's energy is here, so soul expansion, your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. So I think you made peace with your past, you understand why it happened the way it happened, it was for your soul to grow, for your consciousness to grow, so you have that understanding within you, yeah, that all this happened for a bigger picture, for a bigger purpose in your life, and you have that higher understanding and higher wisdom, that is what I see here. It's a beautiful card, like, definitely, and I think you've been through a lot, because as long as you didn't heal that father wound within you, you were in that vicious cycle, constantly attracting partners who were not available to you, because imagine being with a father who wasn't present emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and then you're attracting partners who are doing the same thing to you, because they're not protecting you, they're not providing for you financially, they're not being there for you emotionally, mentally, and by that I don't mean that you have to be totally dependent on other people emotionally or mentally, but how a father would do that for you. And I'm not saying your partner should become your father, but how a man should protect you, you weren't experiencing that, because a man and your father both are masculine energy, right? And that is how masculine energy behave, so since you didn't experience it with your father, it was also happening in your relationship dynamic, and again, this is not gender specific, because I'm talking about a masculine energy. This could also happen to men, wherein they don't have a healed relationship with their father, and it's kind of affecting their relationship dynamic, in terms of being a man, they don't know, because they don't have a role model, they don't have a mentor, so they don't know how to show up in the world, and because they don't know how to be a better man, they're not able to be a better man for that woman, and she's not liking the man or not being able to be with that man, and there are a lot of men who need to work towards themselves, because you've learned this from your father and you're doing that to a woman, so you need to learn that. And the more you heal those aspects within you, you'll be a better man, and then you'll experience a better relationship, with a woman. That is what I feel. And same goes for a woman, the more she heals the divine masculine energy within her, the relationship that she has with a man, then it'll improve her relationship with her husband, right? Because it's there energetically within your body, and that is how, because that energy is not healed within you, and then you're attracting all these people, who are doing the same thing to you. That man is not providing for you. He's not available for you emotionally, mentally, doing nothing for you, So I'll also pull out another card. So yeah, you're definitely being asked to, since this happened to you in a childhood, you're supposed to love your inner child right now, nurture your inner child, give that inner child everything that it missed out, in especially in your childhood, if you feel you missed out on certain things which was supposed to have been done by your father, he was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be present there, and it wasn't fulfilled, these desires were not fulfilled, fulfill those desires right now. It doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care how old you are, do that for yourself. And it may look silly, it may look stupid. I know there are a lot of people who keep saying, oh, but this one doesn't act their age, and it doesn't matter. Trust me, let them judge. It doesn't matter. As long as you can take care of your responsibilities, you can pay your bills, you can do everything in life. If you are childlike, when you're free, when you are enjoying your life, it doesn't matter. You can be childlike, right? You can connect with your inner child. You can do those silly childlike things, and enjoy that within that moment, and then go back to doing your responsibility that you're doing during the day. You can have those few hours, those few moments, wherein you can heal your inner child and do these activities, which will help you heal, because literally you're fulfilling your childhood desires, things you didn't get to do, you're doing right now. It could be anything, it could be the most silly thing. Just do it, it doesn't matter, right? That is what follow your joy, basically. Yeah, if you missed out on certain things and you have that desire, please do it right now, and that is really going to make a difference, and that is going to allow your inner light to shine, yeah. That is what I see here. So don't feel ashamed. Don't think that you're too old for that. You aren't. Nobody's too old, Yeah. Uh, anyway, the age factor that we define is just by a physical body, right? It doesn't really matter, You should have a childlike wonder until you die, That is what I feel, That is what keeps you alive, Yeah, so you're also being asked to declutter right now, including me. I'm also doing a lot of decluttering right now. Yeah, organizing everything. You're meant to do that. Yeah, and this is going to create a lot of radiant energy in you. You're going to feel very renewed. That is what. Lot of vitality, and you're going to feel very fresh. That is what I feel. This is also going to create a lot of space in your life, You're going to basically uh, create new things in your life, There's going to be a shift in your energy. You're going to give birth to new ideas. Yeah, that is what I see here. Let's see what other cards we get. Yeah, you're being asked to heal your past and embrace your future at this given period of time. Step into the future with an open heart, So you're definitely on the right path. That is what I see. You're healing. I think you've been through a lot of tough cycle, and you're stepping into your power. You're rising like the phoenix, from the ashes. I'll also use this particular deck and see what cards we get for you, what blessings are entering your life at this given period of time. Yeah, you're being asked to follow your heart, Lot of heart-based energy is there. That is what I see. Follow your heart, you can never go wrong. Yeah, you do have your angels guiding you at this given period of time. They are literally sending you messages through feathers. They're sending you messages through feathers, So if you see a white feather, a black feather, a green feather, they all have different meaning. So you can Google the meaning, what it means. Yeah, your angels want to tell you, you're definitely going to enter a time period of celebrations. Yeah, that is what I see here for you. You're being asked to spend time in nature, connect with nature. This will really help you with manifestation. Yeah, infinity card is there. So I do feel like they're trying to tell you, the possibilities are unlimited, the potential is unlimited for you. Let's see what cards you get. You may even get messages through clouds. So like try to look at cloud formations, There may be some sign and symbols and some messages that your angels want to communicate with you. I do feel that in the coming time you'll be juggling a lot. A lot of multitasking is going to happen, whether it's working out or whether it's house related. Probably you're going to buy a new home, work related, exercising, keeping a journal, writing, you're going to multitask a lot. That is what I feel, Yeah, your time is right now, that is what they're saying. And this also literally means that your time is changing now. Yeah, this is a confirmation. See, the Phoenix card. So you're definitely rising like a phoenix from the ashes. You've been through a tough time. You've had your share of failed relationships, work issues, and finally you're healing from this, because you also need divine masculine energy when it comes to your work, Yeah, how men are, they are very dedicated, they are very good with their work, action oriented energy, and being able to analyze, being able to take the actions that are required, So the more you're balancing your divine masculine energy, it is also healing your work life and also your love life. The Lover's card is here, So this is a confirmation, You're coming into union within you by healing the divine masculine energy within you. You're stepping into your power. You're healing your father wounds. And that is not only healing your work relationship with work, but also your personal relationship, Because end of the day, divine masculine is the energy within you, And somewhere, your relationship dynamic with your father affected your connection to this energy, Yeah, see, this is a confirmation, A lot of coins, do you see? A lot of golden coins, You should also invest in gold, This could literally mean that, Or get gold coins, for yourself. Yeah, not golden, but gold coins. That's what I meant. So, yeah, in this picture, you see a lot of gold coins. Yeah, and you should invest in gold. But this is also a sign, from your angels that a lot of wealth is going to enter your life. Yeah, this is definitely your ancestor, loved one from the other side guiding you. So there are a lot of good things that are going to enter your life. I think I'll end the reading here, and I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much.